Thanks, Keith. Hi, everyone. My name's John Paul Caffery. I set up the job post about sort of just over 2 years ago, and it was very much on a basis of how to connect the specialist consultancies, the suppliers that from time to time you guys would obviously be using, and doing that in an effective way. So the term for that sort of broadly used is a term called crowdsourcing. If I could just see a show of hands, how many people in here have heard of the term crowdsourcing? Okay, so when we first did, or I'd first did the presentation, which would have been about 18 months ago, there was probably about 5 people, so there's quite a few there. I'd say 20% of the audience. It's quite interesting. Crowdsourcing, and you'll soon see when I come onto the slide, you guys will have all used crowdsourcing platforms, in fact multiple ones, and probably on a daily basis. So if I just talk to you about sort of defining crowdsourcing. So crowdsourcing and mass collaboration allows a business to solve problems and to tap into talent via the internet using a single platform. This technique enables a business to access information quickly and easily. So the job post as a platform, if you like, has very much been set up from a crowdsourcing perspective and to help employers engage with recruiters more effectively. So if I just bring you on sort of crowdsourcing examples. So these are all crowdsourcing platforms that I'm sure you'll notice all of those logos there. And what all of those different platforms have done have actually enhanced the industry that they sit within. So Rightmove has massively enhanced the estate agents industry. TripAdvisor, Krista obviously made reference in terms of the founder or one of the guys that's involved in Glassdoor, eBay, Facebook. And the reason that they're so powerful is because it provides mass users access to data very quickly and very easily, but most importantly, data that they can use when they want to use it. So if I just quickly take you through sort of how recruitment crowdsourcing works, it would be one platform where you would agree one contract and a single set of terms to access in excess of 35,000 recruitment suppliers. Now, those suppliers are within the job post platform, but to give you an idea, within the UK alone, there's around about 70,000 consultants. So we've sort of come a long way to get 50% of them, but we've still got some more work to do. But that sort of single platform gives you access as an employer to those recruitment suppliers immediately. As sort of Keith mentioned, it allows you to access new talent and candidate networks immediately. The majority of roles that are posted on the platform very much are niche. So it might be an actuarial role or a particular senior level role, somewhere where direct sourcing has been used, but for whatever reason, a shortlist hasn't been built out to the extent to make an informed decision. So those new talent pools, those new candidate networks are massively important. And there's 13,000 recruiters in the UK, recruitment consultancies in the UK. To give you an idea, 95% of those consultancies are below 15 to 20 people. So there's a huge amount of individual networking, discussions, candidate meetings, etc. that consultants are doing, and obviously they're doing it on your behalf to be able to present you that talent if they're obviously able to. Importantly, it enables an employer to plug directly into the recruitment supply chain. I think one of the challenges in the meetings that I have with sort of senior resourcing managers, HR directors, etc., is that they find it very difficult to engage with suppliers if they're not, for example, on their preferred supplier list, they haven't gone through procurement, etc. But the problem is if that supplier does have the perfect candidate and certainly should be considered, they should be considered, and obviously the platform here allows that plug-in and immediate access. Companies use this in very different ways. So there's a number now that use us really to compare and contrast against their existing sourcing channels. So again, Keith mentioned the sort of the ripple effect. There's nothing stopping. This isn't to replace direct sourcing. It isn't to replace existing suppliers that you may be using. So it could actually be used as a third tier. But what it does do is allow you as in-house recruiters to ensure that you're comparing and contrasting the best candidates that are in that space. And if that candidate's come from direct sourcing, that's absolutely great. If it's actually you manage to identify it through something like this platform, then again, there's no harm done. It's only engaging suppliers who are confident of delivering the best talent. So one thing about those platforms that I showed you examples of, all of those platforms are really user-friendly. So lots of people are logging on every single day. But within each of those sort of spaces, there'll probably be another 10 or 15 that just don't do it as well. And I think the nuances that sit within crowdsourcing platforms really make that user experience a positive one. So how do we engage suppliers, or how do you engage suppliers so they can provide you with the best talent? Well, if we were to send out to 35,000 consultants and they were all to send you CVs, it would be an absolute sort of minefield. So what we do is that any suppliers that wish to engage on a particular vacancy pay to engage. So it's very much reversing the model from a recruitment supplier point of view. So if you've got an actuarial role or a corporate finance or a PHP developer role, only the confident recruiters that have those candidates will simply pay the access fee. And I think most importantly, that controls the quality of CVs that you receive, but obviously also the number. The other thing with crowdsourcing platforms, they are free to use. So from an employer sort of point of view, a company point of view, there is zero cost to access and use. And that's really important because that then allows companies to use us as and when. So some companies may use us for all of their vacancies. Others, it could be 1 or 2 in a year. So it's totally flexible. And one of the other or final sort of points is that sort of all major applicant tracking systems, because I appreciate a lot of the corporates are here today, will use ATSs. The system can integrate. So what you won't be doing is duplicating effort in posting a job, but most importantly, those candidates are coming back into your existing talent pool. So if I just give sort of an example of a recent role that we filled, so to bring it to life, so sort of a top 10 global accountancy firm, corporate finance director, so fairly senior. Direct sourcing had been undertaken, etc. Posted the vacancy, it went out to a select number of recruitment specialists, and it's important again to specify that they only work within that area. 4 recruiters out of that 39 were happy to pay and engage on that vacancy. 8 CVs submitted, and obviously you can see the other details there, the number of candidates that are interviewed. Now, whilst the last sort of the point where the one offer presented and accepted, okay, there's a recruitment fee that would be applicable there. You guys can go through that process to compare and contrast, as I said, against the candidates that you're currently speaking to and networking. So even if it doesn't go through to the offer presentation and accepted stage, what it does allow you to do is know that the candidates that you're working with are the best candidates for that role. So that's it really. So that's the a bit sort of about the job post. Obviously, there's a few guys that are happy to have a chat. And it obviously is quite a new platform, hence sort of going through in a reasonable amount of detail there. So, okay, cheers, thanks.